Today's lesson is based on what we call the quotient rule, the next in our series of shortcut rules. So for the quotient rule, it's very similar to the product rule, just slightly differently worded. We've got the derivative of the top times the bottom minus the derivative of the bottom times the top, all divided by the bottom squared. If you can remember that sequence, things will be great. Derivative of the top times the bottom minus derivative of the bottom times the top, all divided by the bottom squared. I think we can make a song out of it. Let's look at some examples to see how it works. It's as straightforward as it sounds. Example 1. Suppose we have f of x is 3x to the 4 divided by 5x squared. Another one of my ridiculous examples. Derivative of the top times the bottom minus derivative of the bottom times the top, all divided by the bottom squared. That's the 25x to the 4. I'm tidying things up, combining like terms, and reducing. Now, naturally, if we actually had this question, we would probably just simplify it first, change it into 3x squared over 5, and then just take the derivative using the power rule, which would become 6x over 5. Second example, let's look at, on the top, x squared plus 3x plus 2, on the bottom, x plus 1. My derivative of the top, 2x plus 3, times the bottom minus, the derivative of the bottom is just 1, and then I square the bottom as well. I'm tidying up. This is always a part of our questions. The first step is usually the easiest. All the tidying up, that's where we tend to lose marks. Just be really meticulous and careful with it. In this one here, when we tidy everything up, as you saw, I made a couple of mistakes and have fixed them up by now. I've got x squared plus 2x plus 1 on the top, which happens to factor to look exactly the same as the bottom. I end up with 1. Please note, if I would have noticed this in the beginning, I might have seen that the top actually factored into x plus 1, x plus 2. I could have simplified it, taken the derivative, and it could have been 1 that way as well. Another example. Let's look at x cubed minus 4x over top of x squared plus 3. Pause the video, try it, come on back. So we've got derivative of the top times the bottom minus derivative of the bottom times the top, all over the bottom squared. Tidy things up. Careful with your negative signs, please. Simplify if we can. And then we do look to factor this, and this one can't be factored, but you do always check to see that, to see if you'd be able to simplify further. That's it for today. Your homework, it's on page 95. Question numbers 1, 3, 4, and 6. Again, 1 and 3 odd letters, 4, all of it, and 6, have fun.